Ted Kaczynski taught at Cal.
Yeah?
Yeah, that tells you
Yeah?
something.
What does it tell you?
Crazy people go there.
Aaron Rodgers went to Cal.
Exactly. That furthers my point.
You think he's crazy?
A little bit. A little bit, yeah. So maybe I should, instead of crazy, I should say eccentric. How about that? Is that a better term to
Yeah.
use? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cal's where all the eccentric people go. So. Uh, Welcome back to the most number first sports podcast in the world. Welcome back to Swivel Chair Sports. I'm your host, Zach Circleberg Burkle, here on a very, 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 very special week with my co-host and fellow Missouri Tiger fan slash Missouri alum, Aaron Doherty. Go and say hi.
Hi, guys.
All right. So, as I alluded to, huge week in the Missouri fandom with our resident alum here, Aaron. It's been a long time coming, if I must say, for Missouri to make the college football playoffs. And after we win this week, we're on pace for it. So, what are your thoughts?
I think that may be getting ahead of ourselves a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe a smidge. But I got this cool T-shirt.
You do have that cool T-shirt.
Yeah. That totally was like this when I bought it.
Totally legit.
Yeah. Football's fun. But yeah, in all seriousness, we'll get to the Missouri hype on my part here in a little bit. Once we get into the Week 10, looking ahead, the Week 10 predictions and stuff like that. But first, we got to do a little housekeeping. Please like and subscribe to the video, because I forgot to say that earlier. But other than that, taking a look back at last week's games, a couple of the highlights at least. Starting off with Washington and Stanford. Old Washington Huskies, right? Is that right?
Yep.
Yep. The old Washington Huskies beating the Stanford Cardinal. Just one.
There we
Just
go.
one Cardinal. Just one Cardinal. There's not multiple Cardinals. Just one.
Because it's not the bird, it's the color.
It's the color. I thought it was the tree. Is there a tree called a cardinal? Because they just have a random ass mascot that's a tree for some reason. I assumed
Is
there
there a
was
cardinal tree?
I don't know. I assumed there was, and that's what the mascot was, but I guess I was wrong. So, yeah, Washington visiting Stanford, coming out on top 42-33. Michael Big Penix Energy Jr. furthering his Heisman, what is it? Heisman
Bid.
sure. Go bid. I like bid. With 369 passing yards this game, as well as I'm assuming touchdowns, but I'm only looking at the overview right now. So, 4 touch. Wait, nope. 6. Nope. Nope. No, it was 4. Okay, 4 touchdowns against the Stanford Cardinal. Only throwing 1 pick. He threw a 92-yard pass. Sorry, I didn't watch the game, folks.
I don't remember him throwing a 92-yard pass.
It says his longest pass of the game was 92.
Must have been.
That is something. I doubt it was 92 air yards, but still, pretty impressive. 92 air yards, though, that'd be crazy. But yeah, Washington coming out top. Michael Penix. That's Penix. Michael Penix Jr. Continuing to look like a stud this season. What do you think the odds are that he can actually come out on top of this Heisman race?
Well, considering I don't have them winning out the rest of the season, not good.
Eh.
Yeah. I think I have Bo Nix over him.
That's fair. Wait, so you have Washington losing to Oregon? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's fair. That is fair.
I could also
Um,
see them losing to like USC.
mm, mm, yeah, I can see that as well. I mean, Caleb Williams losing like is it two straight games or three?
I think it was only two.
Not a great look for him. Oh, that's right. They had a bye last week. That's probably what it was, wasn't it?
No, they played Cal.
Oh, so they won. They actually won a game.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Washington obviously leading the Pac-12 right now. They have not lost, whereas Oregon has lost one game. So that is the
To
only
Washington.
do what?
To Washington.
Oh, did they play? Was that who they lost to? Why did I want to?
Hmm.
Why did I think that was somebody else? Sorry, again, folks. I don't watch a whole lot of college football other than Missouri, so like I'm pretty much useless here. We really need Siege back. We really need Siege back. But um, yeah, I guess is there anything else you want to talk about in that game, the Washington Stanford game, or is that pretty much it?
I mean, I think the big question that everybody's kind of coming away is Washington's defense good enough to win a national championship?
Yeah,
Like obviously it's good enough to beat all of these just kind of like mid to low tier teams, but is it good enough to stop a Georgia, Michigan, and Oregon,
or Missouri.
you know, Missouri, if you're in that camp?
If you're in that camp, if we want to beat LSU, we'd be 8 right now. Um, yeah, big things happen in the Pac-12. Really, no tell. I mean, and then I'm assuming there's a Pac-12 championship between Oregon and Washington that we'll see. So, but moving on to quite possibly the biggest upset of the week, Kansas coming out on top against Oklahoma for the first time in probably ever. That's probably not true, but a while. First time in a long time, Kansas football has beaten Oklahoma. So correct. So props to y'all. Cuck fans is still, right up there. But props to y'all. Heck of a game. Shout out to you. Uh, Jay Brock Shaw. I can't say it. I can't say it. I threw up in my mouth a little bit. Um, Aaron, what are bef- it's hard. This is weird. I don't like talking good about Kansas. This is uncomfortable. So could you like throw me a lifeline here or something with this? Because I just
um, no, you're doing great, man. You got
yeah,
it.
doing great, doing great.
Yeah, you can talk great about Kansas all you want. I don't think I can,
It's
or
not
I'm
like
willing
it.
to join
It's
in.
tough. Oh, in fairness, you are an alum, so I'll bite the bullet for the most part and say Kansas fucks. Kansas kind of fucks, and that's unfortunate as a Missouri fan to see. But credit to y'all. Y'all beat Oklahoma. It's not. I mean, take away that OSU loss, and y'all are looking really good this year. So credit to y'all for really turning that program around. Absolute.
I actually have a little take about OSU.
No, okay, go ahead.
I think OSU is actually really good now.
Really? You think they turned it around
Yeah,
mid-season or something?
yeah. You want to know why? It's one player and one player only.
What's that?
His name's Ollie Gordon the second.
Ollie Gordon the second. I am not familiar with that. I live in the same state as him, and I'm not familiar with.
He's a running back, and in his last 5 games, he's rushed for over 100 yards.
That is something. That ain't nothing.
Um, 18 carries, 121 yards. 21 carries, 136 yards. 29 carries, 168 yards.
Where
29
was
carries, 282 yards. 25 carries, 271 yards.
where was he at the beginning of the season when they lost to Southern
Uh,
Alabama and
they
Iowa
didn't.
State?
He didn't have a lot of touches at the beginning of the season,
So they just
and
found like a
then
diamond in the rough, essentially, is what
and
you're
then they
saying.
found him, and he's rushed for over 500 yards the last
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He only got 5 touches in that South Alabama game. Uh, and then in that the other game. Hello. Excuse me, by the way. The Iowa State game. He he got 18 carries for 121 yards. They just lost.
Mm-hmm.
They just got outplayed, I guess, by a not great Iowa State team.
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is. That's an interesting take. I don't hate that. We'll talk more about them when we get to looking forward into next week's games. But sticking with actually in also OU, I suppose, would be in that same discussion since that's who they're playing. Good old Bedlams this weekend. So shout out to Joe for having a wedding on Bedlam weekend. Yeah. It's on Friday. It'll be fine. In Oklahoma, though. That's kind of like, not that I'm either a fan of either of those teams, but it is funny. It is funny. But yeah, Oklahoma, Kansas. What happened? Like, how did OU lose? What the fuck happened?
It was just kind of from the jump, Kansas seemed like they wanted it a little more. They
Yeah.
got up to an early lead with like a pick six, and then they were up like 14-0. And then Oklahoma kind of made a little comeback.
Mm.
And then the game was delayed for weather in like the middle of the second. And then they came back, and it was just kind of a sloppy rain game, lots of like turnovers on both sides.
Yeah.
Actually, a pretty exciting game.
Yeah,
But
no, it looked it.
Kansas just made a couple more plays.
Yeah. I also just remembered why I didn't watch like any college football this Saturday. I was a little preoccupied.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see the fucking ring.
Nice. You talked to a girl. Good job.
I've been talking for a little while, you could say. Yo, boy got engaged this weekend, so yeah, my Saturday was a little busy. I was busy
No
doing stuff.
excuse.
So,
No excuse.
yeah, no, I actually had the game in my hand right there as I was on one knee. I was like, "Will you marry me?" Oh, touchdown, Kansas! Yeah, no, she would have killed me if I did that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so bear with me if I. Yeah, I have a better excuse than I normally do for not watching any college football. Usually it's just that I don't want to. In this case, I actually had something going on. So.
How can you not want to watch college football?
I
It's
don't know. I'm
crazy.
just not interested. Unless it's Missouri, I'm just not. I mean, in fairness, I've come to terms with the fact that's kind of every sport. I'm more of a fanatic than I am a sports fan, I think. I get passionate
Well,
about my teams, but if they're bad, I'm not gonna watch that sport very much. Like I haven't watched baseball in years. There's a reason I haven't watched baseball in years. Yeah, that shirt's why I haven't watched baseball in years.
I'm definitely that way about baseball, but
More specifically, the logo on that shirt's why I haven't watched baseball in years. Awful.
football's different, man. Football is great. It's only there for a short while. You got to get it while you can, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I just college football's never done it for me. NFL, I can get.
College football is better than the NFL
That's what everyone says, and I don't know. I don't know. I think. See,
because you didn't go to one of those schools.
Well, not just
If
that,
you
but
go to one of
also.
those schools, it's better.
Well, I'm a professional wrestling fan as well. I like the drama that the NFL provides.
God.
You know, I like the gossip and the drama and the rumors and the. As much as I want to say I hate it.
You're right, because there's not totally gossip, rumors, and drama around Michigan right now.
Well, yeah. Is John Harbaugh
Totally not
out?
the same.
Is he out for the year, or is he like?
Is who?
Is Harbaugh out for the year?
No.
They're letting him coach out the season.
Yeah. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're working on an extension for him.
I thought they pulled the extension.
No, that was just rumors.
Oh, there you go. I guess I'm missing out. I completely did not mean to cue it up like that, but it worked out. So, moving on to Oregon and Utah. Oregon looks like a buzzsaw.
Oregon's
They
really good.
they look ridiculous.
I think Oregon, low-key, might be the best team in the country.
You think so? You think they should win?
Yeah.
You think they should? In theory, they should win the Natty.
I don't know if they should. They could.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
got a really solid defense and a really solid offense. They're
yeah.
like the best all-around team.
I'm about to tell you this much: their quarterback is extremely experienced. I think he's been in college for about 15 years, so something like that. He's like the next Stetson Bennett.
Yeah. And Utah was like they're notoriously hard to beat at home. Like they were
Oh,
like
are they?
they were like 29 for 30 in their last home games. It was
Fair
it
enough.
was something crazy.
Yeah, fair
And
enough.
Oregon went in there and just dominated.
Yeah, props to them. I mean, they look like they kind of like you said that you could see Washington losing 2 more games this year. Oregon looks like the better team between those two right now. It's even though Washington beat them, it's they're a
Oregon
scary
coached
looking,
themselves out
scary
of that
looking
game.
program.
They weren't outplayed.
Yeah,
They outcoached themselves.
yeah. Um, Scary looking team right now. Uh, yeah. I mean, did you have? Did you? I can't remember. Did you have another game you wanted to go over? Or was that basically it for the recaps?
I mean, that was really kind of all the big ones.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Kentucky was kind of exciting, but not
Yeah.
really.
I mean, that Tulane Rice game, man, looks like it came down to the wire.
That game's
It actually does look like it was probably a pretty good game.
um
All jokes aside.
Rice's stadium was empty. It was sad.
Really, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
I guess Rice is
Yeah.
a pretty bad football program, though, right?
I mean, they're just kind of average.
I thought they were trash.
I mean, they're 4-4. They're 500.
Oh, I meant
So
in
they're not.
general. No, I meant in general, like
Oh.
their perception throughout the years.
Oh, yeah, kind of.
They're a baseball school.
I wouldn't know.
USC barely beating Cal. What happened
Yeah.
there?
As per usual, USC couldn't stop anybody.
Well, I see that considering they led 49 points
But
to Cal.
the important thing
To
is they scored
Cal.
50.
To a bunch of smart ass. But yeah, moving on. So I unless there's anything you want to talk about with the this past week's games, I guess we can move on to our predictions for this next week if you're ready.
Yeah, or we could talk a little bit about the CFP rankings
Oh,
coming
that's
out.
right. The first college football playoff rankings came out this week. And I think the one team that's on everybody's mind is Missouri being at 12, probably, right?
Yeah, that's on everybody's mind.
Yeah. Not Georgia being at 2.
No.
Not Georgia falling from 1 to 2. Definitely us. Honestly, though, do you think that could potentially be bad for us? Like Georgia
What
might
they?
that they fell. Yeah, that Georgia fell.
No. Why would it? I don't think it gives them any motivation if that's what you're asking.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah, why not? Why not?
Why would it? Why would they concern themselves with? I mean, as long as they're in the top 4, they don't care.
But the players might.
I mean, yeah, sure, but I mean, I don't think that necessarily gives them
So
the bulletin
okay,
board
the reason
material that you think it does.
fair. Okay, the reason I bring it up is because a ton of I was looking at the Bleacher Report community for us for Missouri, and a bunch of Georgia fans were in there, and like I don't care, like come talk your shit, that's fine. I'll go talk my shit. You come talk your shit. It wasn't the fact that they were in there that would bother me. I didn't really care. It was the fact that they were saying that because the committee put him at 2, that Mizzou was basically fucked because Georgia was going to come out like a bat out of hell.
Listen, you might be new to this whole SEC
I am
conference.
kind of. Well, I mean, I'm not new to the okay, buddy, stop it. I'm maybe fair weather, but
No, no, no,
I'm
no, no,
always a
no,
Mizzou fan.
no, no, no.
Like
To
the
like
fan
the
base.
actual other, yeah, the actual other
Okay, okay,
teams.
yeah. No, I don't really. I don't really look at other SEC teams' fan bases at all.
The fan bases are nuts.
Yeah.
They're all nuts.
Okay.
And some of them are just, a step above. They're
Well,
like actual Colts. Georgia,
yeah.
Texas A&M,
Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say they're not. I wouldn't say they're as bad because, I mean, they're good. They've proved it. But
Yeah,
like
but
Georgia always talks shit. Tennessee's fans are kind of dirtbags.
Tennessee is bad. Tennessee's bad. But that's kind of my point though with the Alabama thing is even if Alabama was on the same talent level as Tennessee, I think they'd still be talking just as much shit.
I don't know. I haven't
I
seen them
think
that bad.
yeah, I feel like any team who has that much success for that long, they give me Yankee vibes. They give me Yankee vibes. I feel like they're kind of like Yankee fans in that sense, you know what I mean? Or Patriot fans. That's just where my mind goes
Listen,
immediately.
all I know is Georgia fans bark at people,
Oh, they're
and that's all I have
dogs.
to say.
They're literal
That's
dogs.
all I have to say.
So,
They just bark at people.
maybe we should growl at them.
Like
Rawr. Rawr.
how much would it make your skin crawl if Mizzou fans went up to people and went rawr?
Well, that's literally what K State does. So
Rawr.
that's basically what K State fans do, is it not? What's
I don't know.
What's the saying they have? They have the
Ema.
yeah.
Every man's a wildcat.
That's basically the same thing.
That is not the same as rawr.
Ema.
Okay.
It's basically the same thing.
I don't see how any why you're putting any stock into what the fans are saying. This is
I was just curious. Just like obviously, I'm not gonna watch Georgia. I know they're good. I don't need to watch them. But like, so
you
I was
should watch them.
curious.
They're fun to watch.
Well, yeah, but it's I don't
It's fun to watch like the first half of their games.
know. Yeah. But I guess we should get into our predictions. Missouri, Georgia. We'll start there with the. Or should we
Starting
say
hot, huh?
Nah. Let's save that for the end. I want to save that for the last one.
All right.
I want to save that. But like we did touch on it a little bit right there. So, guess we'll go on to the next one then, because I think that was the first one you listed probably. Oh no, it wasn't the second one. So we'll start with K-State, Texas. If K-State wins this game, that's huge for them. Obviously, they jump up in the standings. They're right there with Texas and OU. And you had right here that you think they got the potential, but maybe winning the Big 12 for the second straight year.
Yep.
What makes you say, like, obviously, I understand they've been playing well lately. They were preseason ranked 16 or whatever it was. I don't know if it might have been lower than that, and then they got up to 16 before we played them. But regardless,
We beat them at 15.
Same. Okay, sorry. Whatever. Semantics at that point, Aaron.
But who cares? Like you like to do.
I guess that's true. You got me there. Okay. But, yeah, obviously K-State was supposed to be good this year. It seems like it had just taken them a few weeks to really get going. And maybe we just happened to catch them at a really good time. Or maybe Mizzou's really that fucking good. I don't know. Because K-State has only lost 2 games. Those being the one to us on a walk-off field goal. Longest in SEC history. And the other one was against who you say is a really solid OSU team now. So,
yeah.
What are your thoughts about this K-State team? You seem to think that they're really kind of hitting the next gear.
Yeah, I think
they did win the last 2 games by a combined 82-3. So
I think OU is maybe slightly overhyped.
yeah,
I don't think they're as good as kind of
I mean
everybody thought they were going to be.
that's yeah,
And that showed with their loss to Kansas.
and water's wet. You know,
You're
like
just an OU hater.
no, well, it's like every year with them. You know, it's every year. Oh, you so good. They deserve to be in the playoffs, and if they do somehow be lucky enough to make it, they lose in the first round by 40 every time,
Well,
without fail, every time. So yeah, water's wet, Aaron.
I believe that's a very big statement from you, considering the fact that we once argued and you said that water was not wet.
Did we? I thought I was on the
We argued at
water
El
was wet
Paso.
side. I
No,
swear
we
I was on the
argued at El
water is wet
Paso.
side. You know me, I troll, man. I also said Daniel
Anyway,
Jones was good.
yeah, but you believed it.
That one I did believe.
I think this could kind of become a three-way race between K-State, Texas, and Oklahoma State for the Big 12 title.
So you don't
Because
have
I think
OU or KU in it at all.
no,
Interesting. Okay, go ahead.
I think another game kind of that we were going to talk about. I think Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma, and I think K-State beats Texas, and
That's
that kind of
right.
lines up
Yeah.
the Big 12 championship.
You did say that you think OSU could beat, not should be, but could beat OU. Um, and yeah, I guess in that case, then OU would have what would that be, 2 losses for them or 3? I think it would be
That
2.
would only be two. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 conference losses. Texas would have 2 conference losses. K State would
And
only
then that would
have
be
1,
mm-hmm.
and
And
OSU would
OSU
only
would
have 1,
have
right?
yeah.
Because they only lost to uh, they lost to South Alabama, but that's in the conference game. They lost
They would have lost to Iowa State.
Iowa State
Yeah.
was the other one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now now that's starting to become more of a oh, okay, I see what you're saying now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I forgot that even though they'd have the same amount of overall losses, the conference losses would be different, and that's what obviously the conference goes by. Okay, now I kind of see what you're saying here with and then Kansas would have 2 division loss or conference losses as well with the OSU game and the Texas
Which
game.
K-State plays Kansas later,
So
and
you assume K
OSU already
State
beat
beats.
Kansas.
Yeah, so you would assume that K State beats Kansas, which essentially knocks them out of any sort of conference contention. Assuming K State basically wins out. Okay. Yeah. No. I mean, I understand where you're coming from with that theory or that prediction now. I was confused because I was like, OU's top 10. How the hell would they not be included in it? And then Kansas is ahead of K State right now. How were they not being included? But I didn't. I forgot that conference losses is what they go by in that. Who do you think's going to be the conference championship game then? Do you think it's going to be OSU and Texas?
K-State,
Is that what did you say
OSU,
that earlier?
K-State.
You might have said that earlier. Yeah. Oh yeah, because the K State beating Texas this week will be their second loss. Wow. That would be something. That would be something if K State and OSU meet in the championship after it's such a rough start by losing 2 games. That's another reason I don't watch college. Is because you
What?
lose 2 games, you're basically out of it for the year.
That's what makes it exciting.
That's what makes it
Okay,
stupid.
so I saw this conversation had, and I highly agree with it. That people's expectations for a season are so much higher than reality is.
Right.
You know, everybody expects their team that if they don't make the college football playoff, then it's a failure of a season.
Well, I mean, as a Mizzou fan, I can promise you that is not the way I felt going into the year. I can guarantee that. I was like, hey, if we finish the season ranked, that's a hell of a year. 25?
Exactly.
25th
You
team in the
know,
nation? That's a great year.
so I
Uh,
think winning your conference is nothing to scoff at,
no, and I don't think, yeah. I mean,
and I think for a lot of these big teams, obviously winning your conference puts you in the CFP, but
yeah.
not being ranked at the end of the season, going to a bowl game, that all helps with recruiting. That
Yeah,
just
no,
sets you
you're
up better
right.
for next season.
Yeah, that's true. I guess since we're talking it, Oklahoma State, you had Oklahoma State winning this week, is that correct?
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I know you said that OU, in your opinion, was super overhyped. I
I didn't say
agree.
super overhyped. You said super overhyped. I said kind of overhyped.
Okay, I said super overhyped. You said kind of overhyped. Regardless, they were overhyped as they are every single year. Um, Bedlam this weekend. Is it at OSU or I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I went to the game. We went to the game. We went to the Bedlam game last year.
This one would have been a lot better to go to.
Yeah, it probably would have been
Probably would have
worse.
been a lot more fairly priced tickets for this one too.
Yeah, and we already paid out the nose for those garbage ass seats last year. So, call, goddamn call. Did you end up going to Kentucky, Missouri,
Mm-mm.
with them? No. I wonder how many people even went then. If they went, I don't even know if they
I
did
don't know
go.
if they went.
Yeah. Um.
Oh, Cole did go. I remember seeing Cole.
Okay.
I
Well, at
think
least
I
he
saw
got to
Cole there.
go. Him and Zach probably went together because I know Zach lives over in St. Louis. Um. But yeah, big Bedlam game. I mean, if OU loses, assuming Missouri wins like they should, no comment on that. Okay. Assuming Missouri
We'll
wins,
get to it.
they should be top 10 after an OU loss. So I'll be rooting for OSU, but I would have been rooting for OSU even if Missouri wasn't. I just go Cowboys, go Pokes,
Go Pokes.
go Pokes. Uh, so yeah, we talked about Ollie Gordon already. You think he's legit, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you
I
think
think
he's
he's the only reason their team is legit.
really? So yeah, do
Maybe
they?
not the only reason, but he's a big part.
Yeah, they ain't got much of a passing game over there.
I don't know. No idea.
No
Haven't
idea.
watched him play. I just know that this Ollie Gordon guy's
I like it.
for
Hey,
500
hey, I'm
for
rubbing
5 years
off on
in
you.
2
I'm rubbing off on you. I like that. Blind confidence. That's what I like to see, Aaron. Yes. Blind confidence. Fantastic.
I'll
Moving
definitely be
out.
watching this game though.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll try to catch it. We'll see. I swear I never have a fucking weekend off anymore. But moving out west, we got Washington versus USC. Caleb Williams really. I mean, I guess he won last week, but other than that, he needs to turn it around. They barely won last week. He has not looked amazing the last few weeks. He's okay.
He hasn't looked amazing, or his team hasn't looked amazing.
Well, it depends. Like the team hasn't, but he's had some up and downs throughout those last three games as well. He played really, really poorly against was it Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
Yeah, awful game that week. He played okay the week after that, and then he probably took another step back towards being his normal self this week. Uh, so I mean, I guess it's only fair to assume he would take that next step towards being back to his normal self. Um, and you would assume that would assist him in at least being competitive against a really good Washington team. But do you think that USC could maybe even upset Washington? Because a Washington loss right here, assuming Oregon can beat them in the Pac-12 championship, basically like throw away the key. Like Washington's out of the CFP if they lose this week.
I could see Washington losing maybe 2 games before
Yeah, you said that
the
earlier.
Pac-12 championship.
Right.
So yeah, I could
Oh, you
definitely
said
USC is
before the
definitely one of the
Pac-12
team.
championship. You're not even talking about the Pac-12.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, I could see them also losing to
Oregon State.
Utah.
Oh, they already play Oregon State.
No, they play them after
That's another one I
Utah.
could see them losing.
Yeah, but I think USC is definitely a little bit more geared than those other two to beat them with their, you know, high-powered offense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean,
I think this could
obviously,
be a really exciting game.
it should be. It should be a shootout. You would hope between Michael Penix and Caleb Williams. Do you think there's any way Caleb Williams could salvage any sort of Heisman hopes this game, or do you think that's basically dead in the water?
Not with the way that Oregon's playing, not with the way that Jalen Daniels for LSU is playing,
Yeah.
who I think are kind of like the far and away favorites, other than Penix, which if they lose would kind of knock him down a rung.
Yeah, Jalen Daniels. Is it McDaniels or just Daniels?
I think just Jalen Daniels.
Jalen Daniels, he's looked really good. Um, Obviously, he's brought LSU back to relevancy after they got knocked down to like 23 or whatever it was in the rankings. They're back up to 14, something like that. They're top 15 again. Um, so shout out to him. Obviously, he's really helped. Probably the biggest one of the season was that absolutely godly Missouri team that they beat because you know they're just incredible.
Mm.
The fact that they won that game is really a testament to how good that team is because Missouri is just unbelievable this year. They may be the best team in the country. Best
Yep.
quarterback, best receiver, best running back. Yeah, I mean it's really just a historical franchise that's really never faltered. If that's even a word.
Altered is a word. Can confirm.
Cool.
You used it correctly too.
Hell yeah. I mean, whether that was a true statement that I used it or not is another story. But I used it in the correct context. Context was right. Whether it was true or not, it's another story. Um, uh, I guess right before we talk, I got a little ahead of myself. We're not quite ready to talk about Missouri yet. We have one more game to go for. It is an SEC game, so we're going to start off in that conference. But LSU Alabama, obviously a huge game as far as playoffs go, but also the SEC championship game. If whoever wins this game is going to be in the lead of the East, yeah, because no, the West, because we're in the East,
Mm-mm.
which is so stupid. So stupid that we're in the East, bro. Yeah, whoever wins this game will take first place in the SEC West. Gosh damn it. SEC West. West.
Weast?
The West. Yeah, the SEC West. So, Alabama, but LSU, like I mentioned earlier, really turning the ship around. Jalen Daniels and their number one receiver, who's also a stud. I can't think of his name right now. But they've been killing it. Gotta think
Um,
LSU comes out on top. I really do. I think LSU's probably gonna win this game. But
uh,
that may be
if
optimistic of me.
if LSU wins, I don't think that necessarily. Yeah, no, it doesn't. They'd still be in second place for the West.
LSU has 2 losses?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Florida State and Ole
That's not a
Miss.
conference loss, though. Florida State's in the conference loss.
Right, but LSU beat or LSU lost to Ole Miss.
Right. And then they would beat Bama and have the same amount of conference losses.
Right, but Ole Miss would have the tiebreaker over LSU because they beat LSU.
Oh. I forgot Ole Miss is good.
Yeah.
I forgot Ole Miss is good. That's right. They're like top
Lane
15
Kiffin.
themselves. Yeah. Well, then
They're top 10.
we got a little three-way race on our hands there in the SEC West, assuming LSU wins, if LSU wins. Um, I mean, obviously, you got to think that all three of those, assuming Ole Miss wins, unless they have a bye.
They play A&M.
Okay, assuming Ole Miss wins,
And then they play Georgia.
Okay, assuming Ole Miss wins and assuming Missouri wins, you have to assume that if LSU wins along with those two, that all three of them would jump Bama in the CFP rankings, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got three SEC teams probably in the top 10 at that point, or four because Georgia. And a bunch of people were saying that we may not get two SEC teams.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because
Wait. What's?
those three: Missouri, Ole Miss, LSU, Georgia.
I don't know. That might be a stretch for LSU to be a top 10.
What are they in the CFPs right now?
14, I believe.
But if they beat Bama, they should jump at least 4 spots.
I don't know about 4 spots. They should jump. I think a lot of it depends on who ahead of them does. You know.
Well, okay. So assuming your predictions are correct, Aaron, Texas loses, OU loses, and Washington
Washington.
loses. Yeah.
That'd be
Washington
fair to say then. Yeah.
Washington probably doesn't fall out of the top 10, but they probably go to 10. Ole Miss and Missouri would take Texas and OU's place essentially, and then LSU would take Bama. Right?
Sorry, I had an ad playing. What did you say?
Oh. So assuming Washington, Bama, OU, and Texas all four lose, like you're saying they could.
Mm-hmm.
Washington probably moves down to like 10. And then you'd have to assume Texas, Bama, and OU are all out of the top 10, and they're probably being replaced by Missouri, Ole Miss, and LSU. Or I guess Ole Miss is already in there, so Louisville. But
I don't know if they move Washington that far down.
well, regardless, they'll be in the top 10 still.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then those other three teams would get kicked out. And you'd have to assume, unless Penn State, but I feel like a Missouri and LSU beating those two teams would be more impressive than whoever Penn State's playing.
Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would have to assume that Missouri and LSU would jump Penn State if they win this week, whether Penn State wins or loses.
I could definitely see Missouri jumping Penn State no matter what.
Even if they lose?
No.
Oh, they have to win.
Yeah. Just because it'd be a much more impressive one.
Well, yeah, no, I could see Missouri jumping a lot of people if they win. Like,
Yeah.
I could see them maybe flirt with 6.
Yeah, depending on who else loses.
Right. Well, I guess that brings us to that game, Aaron.
Suppose it does.
That big, bad game. Taking place in Athens, Georgia. First time Missouri's had anything to play for in Athens, Georgia in like a decade. Facing who some call the best team in the nation, the Georgia Bulldogs. Missouri, the odds are stacked against them, man. So many people have came through and cheered this team on. You know, people are impressed. People are impressed by Missouri this year. People did not think we would be this good. Obviously, we started unranked. This is the nut up or shut up game. If Missouri can even be just competitive, whether they even if they lose, as long as they're competitive, lose by 10 or less, maybe even 14 or less, I think the committee will look on that fondly, and we'll probably stay within the top 15, maybe, depending on who else loses. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on the game are that Missouri actually matches up fairly well with Georgia. The the people that give Missouri problems are running quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think, let's see, Carson Beck's rushing stats in recent games: 5 for 10 yards, 6 for -1 yards, 2 for 7 yards, 3 for 6 yards, 4 for 7 yards. So he is rushed for
passer.
Yeah. That being said, he doesn't necessarily have to because they have such talent, specifically at the tight end position, which I don't know who their backup tight end is, but he showed out last week.
Yeah.
And everybody knows Brock Bowers is obviously out.
Breaking news. Sorry to cut you off. We'll get back to this in a second. Breaking news, though.
Oh, yeah.
The Texas Rangers have won the World Series for the first time in franchise history.
Yeah, nobody cares. I, with all of my heart, want to say that Missouri wins this game, but I don't know how.
Drink the Kool-Aid. Drink the Kool-Aid.
I think it's our first time in so long having something to actually play for. I think I do have to drink the Kool-Aid, and I think I'd have to pick Missouri this game.
You're going Missouri?
I am. I'm going Missouri.
Hey, he's drinking the Kool-Aid, ladies.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm all in.
He's all in. He's all in. You know who's been all in, Aaron, since day one? This guy. This guy's been all in since day one. Since day one, this guy. Right here.
What's Mizzou's motto this year?
Bolts up. I don't know.
What? Bolt up?
That was ours. Crimson Storm, baby. Bolt up. What's our motto this year?
Something to prove.
Something to prove. Well,
STP.
we got something to prove. And you know who played Georgia harder than anybody last year? These guys.
Ohio State.
Other than them. In the conference, Aaron. In the conference.
Ohio State didn't play them great.
No? Okay. Well, then who played them tougher than anybody else last year?
Mizzou.
These guys. We were this close. This close to not.
I don't know about that close.
We were literally
maybe
a play
like
away.
This close.
We were literally a single play away.
Yeah.
So we played Georgia tough. In years past, we've always played Georgia tough. I looked it up before. Hang on. Missouri versus Georgia football all time. I've looked it up before. Missouri's competitive when it comes to playing Georgia. Throughout
just not recent years.
I mean, last year we lost by 4.
The year before that, we lost by 4D.
But yeah. Well, When Mizzou is good though, when Mizzou's like relevant, we play them tough. And then apparently for
Yeah.
whatever reason last year was an anomaly where we weren't relevant. We still played them tough, but um, before we started, being bad, we only lost to them by 1. We only lost to them by 3. We beat them. We lost them by 14 the first time we played them. Like these are competitive games. Out of the 12 we've played, half of them are close.
Listen, the more you talk, the more you make me want to pick Georgia. So stop
Yeah.
it.
They only average 33 points against us a game.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
That's not a lot. Like, for college football, that's not that crazy.
No, that's a lot for football.
Yeah, but not like a lot.
No, that's a lot.
Not a lot.
I would say a lot would be like 40.
Yeah, so it's not a lot.
So 33 is a lot. 40 is like a lot.
In my opinion, 4 touchdowns ain't that bad to Georgia.
I mean,
Like, when you think of it that way, I feel like 4 touchdowns to Georgia, that's not that bad.
well, I think you're viewing it as all this recent Georgia. They haven't been this good their entire history.
They have when we played them. That's all I'm looking at. All I'm looking at is since we started playing them in 2012.
They weren't that good in 2012.
They beat us by 21.
Well, yeah.
That was also our first year in the SEC. But then we beat them in our second. That's when we started making SEC championship games.
They were not that good until they got Stetson Bennett.
Right, and he was like
They were just kind of middle of the pack.
Right, and Stetson Bennett like fought in World War II.
Right, he was only there for like 5 years. So the first 4
Times
years.
10.
No.
I think he was there for 6 technically.
Did he start all 6 years?
No, but he had the COVID year. That was the other year.
Well, yeah.
He had a red shirt and then a COVID year.
So minus like 3 Stetson Bennett years, they've not been really good.
Me. I just know that every time I've cared about
Mizzou has let you down.
Well, no, that's when I start.
Yeah.
When I'm invested in a season, Missouri gives Georgia a hell of a fight. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think that's a lie. A bold-faced lie.
It might be. I don't know, man. I just there's something in the air. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh yeah.
Hold on.
And I've
Have
been
you
waiting
been
for
waiting
this
for a
moment
moment like
for all
this
my
all your
life.
life?
Hold
Hold
on.
All right. Yeah. Mizzou beats Georgia.
Missouri beats Georgia. I think we can all agree on that.
I'm not shouting it from the rooftops. I'm saying
I
it
am.
quietly in my room.
I'm shouting it from the rooftops, and I'm looking for something that will add to this prediction. Except I can't find it now. I don't know where. Oh, it's right here. Missouri's gonna medal.
Is that a participation award?
No, it's academic excellence for college.
Nice.
Yeah. See, little book.
I'm not sure that's gonna help us.
Sure will. This is Medal of a Champion who didn't have very successful college baseball career, but that's beside the point. Missouri beats Georgia in a dogfight. Comes down to the wire. Kicker breaks the record for longest field
He
goal.
gets a 65-yarder.
He hits a 65. he hits a 65-yarder. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I have nothing to go. I have nothing but blind faith. This game.
I think I'm going to be right there with you, pal.
Yeah.
Blind faith.
Hey, man. It's like, it feels like this is it feels different, you know. And Missouri football never stops.
Missouri football, in a few years, they never stop.
Every few years, baby. Every few years. Every 3 or 4 years, we're relevant, baby. Let's go. Well, unless you have anything else to talk about with college, I guess we can call it.
Yep.
All right. Well, in that case, I've been your host, Zach Circlebark Burkle, here with Swivel Chair Sports, the most unprofessional sports podcast in the world, with my co-host, Aaron. Go ahead and say bye.
Bye, guys.
All right. Deuces. That wasn't even close.
Not even close.